Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Roman Reigns may think he's the top star in WWE, but his actions and relationships over the last 5 years have cost him that spot. While he held the Universal Championship for over 1,300 days, he didn't keep the title by himself. The OG Bloodline interfered in almost every one of his title defenses. Solo Sikoa alone helped Reigns beat Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. The other members interfered numerous times during the 4-year run. Each member of the original faction has gone their separate ways. The tribal chief expected things to return immediately to the way they were when he returned from his 4-month hiatus at SummerSlam 2024. Despite a brief reunion last year at Survivor Series, things have altered even more for Reigns in the months since, as there is no one on his side. Roman Reigns may have to return to the Bloodline for 5 reasons. One glaring reason why Roman Reigns must return to some version of the Bloodline is that he needs help against Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman's new group. He could eventually return to Solo's side and use the fact that he defeated him in tribal combat as a reason for them to align against Rollins' threat on RAW. This would give Solo and Roman a new direction, as he was able to reconcile and compete alongside the OG Bloodline again in War Games. The main issue would be whether both sides could get over their egos to fight against a common threat. One smaller issue is that Roman Reigns needs to reunite with Jimmy Uso on SmackDown. Jimmy was the first to rejoin his side after his return at SummerSlam 2024. The two eventually participated with the OG Bloodline and CM Punk at War Games. Jimmy also forced Roman to see that things had changed, and he needed to act differently. Big Jim's main usage lately has been in G's feud with Gunther. Other than that, he's done little of note on SmackDown. Bringing back the Bloodline would give him something meaningful to do. Sami Zayn was another prominent name that Rollins, Paul Heyman, and Braun Breaker's new alliance attacked. The Visionary gave Zayn every opportunity to go to SmackDown or join the group, but he decided against it. The underdog of the Underground has a history of trying to be a hero against anyone he perceives as a threat to the WWE. At one point, that happened to be Reigns, but Zayn has been extremely loyal to him despite their complicated history. It would be nice if the head of the table eventually helped Sami out. He hasn't done as much lately, instead relying on Zayn and others to come to his aid. Perhaps Roman Reigns will change. The OG Bloodline hasn't been featured on WWE TV since winning the War Games match against Solo Sikoa's side. In that clash, both Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu were hurt. Fatu recovered quickly, maintaining his popularity and upward ascent, but Reed is still on the shelf. Since Survivor Series in November, both Tama Tonga and Tom DeLoa have also suffered unfortunate injuries. If the healthy members meshed into one side, WWE can keep the saga going if it so chooses. When injured members return, they could either join the Bloodline or turn on the group by aligning with Rollins and Heyman. The group had already come back together to combat the perceived threat of an upstart new version of the Bloodline led by Sikoa. Once Roman Reigns lost the title at WrestleMania 40, the fractures started to appear. Solo immediately turned on Jimmy and Paul Heyman since Roman had been gone for 4 months. Jey Uso had already embarked on his own quest, winning both the Intercontinental and World Heavyweight titles in the last few months. The Wiseman was the group's last member who still had ties to Roman Reigns. Now that Roman is off TV again, Heyman has clients he can work with each week. The tribal chief will have to do some soul-searching and find out why everyone either went their own way or turned on him. In the ever-evolving landscape of WWE, few storylines have captivated fans quite like the rise and fracture of the Bloodline. Roman Reigns, once the undisputed leader of the faction, has taken a noticeable step back following his loss at WrestleMania 41. With Solo Sikoa assuming control, new members like Tama Tonga joining the fray, and internal chaos brewing behind the scenes, there's a growing consensus among fans and wrestling experts alike that the tribal chief's return is not just desired, it's necessary. The aura surrounding Roman Reigns and the Bloodline hasn't faded. If anything, the absence of Reigns has only intensified speculation and intrigue. Whether through subtle hints on SmackDown, cryptic social media posts, or backstage murmurs, the WWE Universe feels the storm building. But why exactly is his return to the Bloodline essential right now? It begins with the identity crisis that's plaguing the faction. Since Roman's departure, Solo Sikoa has taken the reins with a brutal, authoritarian leadership style that contrasts drastically with Reigns' cold, calculated dominance. While Solo's aggression has won matches and struck fear into opponents, it lacks the strategic depth and presence that Roman brought. The inclusion of Tama Tonga and the rumored internal tension with Jacob Fatu has only muddied the waters further. Without Roman, the Bloodline seems less like a dynasty and more like a fractured militia scrambling for control. Roman's return would restore structure, hierarchy, and the gravitational pull that made the Bloodline an undeniable force for over 3 years. Simply put, they need their tribal chief, not just for leadership, but for legitimacy. The second reason lies in the WWE landscape post-WrestleMania. With Cody Rhodes now reigning as undisputed WWE champion, the entire power structure has shifted. Roman's loss was seismic, but his silence afterward, deafening. If the Bloodline is to reclaim its spot at the top of WWE, it starts with Roman seeking redemption. The narrative potential is rich. A humbled, vengeful Roman returning to take back what he lost, not just the championship, but the soul of his family. WWE thrives on legacy, redemption, and power struggles. Roman re-entering the picture offers a natural, compelling storyline that can stretch for months. Imagine the visual of Roman confronting Solo in the ring, his voice low but commanding. "You sit on a throne I built, and I'm here to take it back." It's the kind of moment that makes pro wrestling unforgettable. From a business perspective, Roman Reigns remains one of the biggest draws in professional wrestling. WWE's metrics, whether it's merchandise, social media engagement, or television ratings, prove that when Roman's involved, the needle moves. The post-WrestleMania dip in viewership following Roman's absence hasn't gone unnoticed. Fans may boo or cheer, but they always watch. The Bloodline without Roman can survive, but the Bloodline with Roman thrives. His presence elevates not just the group, but every segment he appears in. WWE is a global juggernaut, and Roman is its marquee figure. Reintegrating him into the Bloodline not only drives ticket sales and streaming numbers, it keeps the product culturally relevant. There's also the matter of legacy. Roman Reigns has spent the past 4 years reshaping what it means to be a top guy in WWE. He's no longer just a powerhouse in the ring. He's a generational storyteller. The Bloodline saga is his magnum opus. Ending it prematurely or worse without him would be a disservice to one of the greatest wrestling narratives in modern history. For Roman to walk away now would be like Jon Snow abandoning the Iron Throne mark halfway through. There's unfinished business, unanswered questions, and emotional beats yet to be explored. A return allows Roman to close this chapter on his terms, whether that means reuniting his family or tearing it apart one final time. Finally, it's about symbolism. Roman Reigns is the head of the table. That phrase isn't just a catchphrase, it's an identity. The table, in this metaphor, represents the very foundation of the Bloodline. Without him at its head, the table is unstable, splintering, and incomplete. The power vacuum left in Roman's absence has created confusion and misalignment. If Roman is truly to cement his place in wrestling history, not just as a great champion, but as a transcendent figure, he must return to correct the course of the empire he built. Whether that means ruling with an iron fist again or choosing a new path, it needs to happen under his guidance. As rumors swirl and WWE subtly teases the next chapter of this saga, fans can feel the tension. Every time Solo Sikoa brutalizes an opponent or Jacob Fatu hesitates before pledging full loyalty, it feels like the ghost of Roman Reigns is watching. The Bloodline was never meant to exist without its tribal chief. His return is not only logical, it's inevitable. And when it happens, WWE will once again witness the reign of a man who redefined what dominance looks like in the squared circle. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.